Hello one and all, and welcome to this brand new series on the channel with me, Throughball FM. Football Manager 2019 Beta has been released, and this is it, boys. This is going to be episode number 1. We're going to do a quick squad introduction and sort of get into the game, have a look at some of the new features, have a look at the squad. We're going to start right from the very beginning on the 2nd of July 2018, early pre-season. Let's do this. I am so excited for this. It's my first chance to play on the new game, and you're going to be witnessing me fail spectacularly at trying to navigate my way around it. So we'll just kind of do this as a little bit of a sort of introduction to the game, and just have a look at the squad, maybe choose some tactics, that sort of thing. But it's going to be a bit more of a casual kind of thing. I usually do a lot of edits and stuff like that, but I think we need to get sort of really embedded into the game before we can start doing things like that. So we do take over from Lucien Favre as the manager. He was the previous manager of Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think he's only just been appointed this season in real life. So that'll be interesting to sort of see how we get on in place of Lucien Favre. But I do speak a little bit of German, and so my pronunciation should be good. If they aren't, I'm sure you'll let me know, but they should be okay. And we've got a Willkommen zu Borussia Dortmund here as well. So this is what we're firstly gonna get involved with. So Hans-Joachim Watzke is the general manager, and he's welcoming me to Borussia Dortmund, and we're going to attend this meeting. So he's just said, "Hi Declan, welcome to Der BVB. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to welcome you to the club before handing over to your assistant manager, who's going to discuss staff responsibilities." We all know how these things go. I think it sounds a great idea. I'd love to learn a bit more about the club. So the philosophies that we're going to be judged on are play attacking football, which I think we'll have to, as being one of the bigger sides in the league. Sign players for the young players for the first team. That's the way that I play Football Manager anyway. So that'll be a useful kind of philosophy to be judged on. And develop players using the club's youth system. Borussia Dortmund are bound to have a decent club youth system, so I'm happy with those. And I don't feel that a meeting's required. I'm happy to be judged on the philosophies that have been proposed by the board. Traditional tour, the press conference. Yes, I think it would be good for me to meet the journalists and give the fans the chance to see me in action. It said, "Thanks for answering questions. Hope you see assistant manager okay. Long and successful career at Borussia Dortmund. Sounds like a good idea. Evaluate the squad. Yes, please. It would be great to see somebody's second opinions regarding the squad. It always is. And be of great benefit to meet my backroom staff. Prior report whose players' contracts are expiring within the next 12 months. Yeah, I think so. That's a new. This is from our assistant manager Manfred Steffes, or Steffes. But this is a kind of a new feature. Well, not a new feature, but it's a new question to ask right at the start of the game. So I think it would be great benefit. And tasks at the club is assist with friendlies. Arrange and take control. We're gonna do. Usually, I would get my assistant manager to do the training, because training's always been a bit of an issue on Football Manager. But this year, thanks for your help. I know where to find you. But this year, I'm going to try and do it all myself, because it's very much more in depth. Ooh, we've got a tactics induction. Right. So this tactics induction. So just take a look at this, because it's quite important, I think, of the way that tactics are implemented in this year's game. It's been a massive overhaul. So tactics express how you want your team to play. The key aspects of any tactic are outlined below, and there are numerous ways you can customize a tactic to your exact requirements. Tactics express, that's the same as what it's saying. So the first part is tactical style. So this includes your mentality and your team instructions. So obviously our mentality will probably be quite an attacking one, because of being one of the stronger teams in the league. That's how I like to play football. My coaching stats are all based around attacking football, so that's what we're going to go with. Probably team instructions. Everybody knows what team instructions are who's played Football Manager. That's the sort of things, the way that your team wants to play. But this year we've got in possession, transition, and out of possession. Then comes the formation. We'll decide on that in a moment, and then we've got player roles. So roles and duties are important. They set the instruction for each player linked to team mentality and team instructions. Team fluidity reflects the shape and structure of the team based on those roles and duties. So we're going to take this tactics induction and just have a look and see. So it's time to talk tactics. To begin with, you'll be given some options upon which to build a tactic. Once you've finished, I'll be back with you to help you with a few more things you might want to consider. So the overview. So we're going to choose a tactical style. We're going to use this for this save, just because it's a new feature, and I want to kind of give everybody a look at the new game and the way that it's going to work. think we'll play, so we'll dominate possession, relentless pressing, and patiently wait for openings. Gegenpress, control possession, aims to dictate play. Route 1, we don't want to go route 1. Catenaccio is the Mourinho sort of style of football, I do believe. Looks to nullify the opposition's attacking threat and highly structured defensive approach. Oh no, there's Park the Bus. I take that back, that's Mourinho style. Look, accidentally clicked on Park the Bus, I don't want to do that. So this is kind of, it gives you a kind of basis from which to form your tactic. Now, I did mention this in my my features video, that this kind of, there's two angles to look at this. And one of them is that it kind of oversimplifies Football Manager and allows people who don't really know anything about football to play it, and then it's oversimplistic. However, that for me is not a drawback, because it allows people who don't know anything about tactics to actually play the game, so who don't necessarily know a lot about football and want to try and engage with the game. I think that's always been a criticism of Football Manager, it's been too complicated for new players to get into, so this feature is good in my opinion. So I think what we'll go with is the tiki-taka style. I know Borussia Dortmund have got a lot of technical players, the likes of Marco Reus, Mario Götze, Julian Weigl, those types of players are all good with the ball. So I think that is what we'll try. We'll try that in the beginning, and if things start to go pear-shaped, then we'll give it a change. Right. So then we do change formation. So this is the classic 4-1-4-1. Well, this is it's a 4-1-2-3. It's really basically a 4-3-3, but they've gone with the 4-1-4-1. We've got a 5 here. The only thing is that I think I probably want to play with wingers because of, and I think that this is the way that we'll play actually with the 4-2-3-1. I want to play with wingers obviously because Dortmund have got good wingers. That's where the squad is strong. We'll see that once we look at the squad. But I think that's what we'll go with, the 4-2-3-1. So wide, but we can change the formation if we want to. I mean, I'd probably rather create the tactic primary. This will be a club's tactical identity. Yeah, okay, next. Okay, yeah, so we've seen that. And there's our instructions. So we've got a shorter passing, and we've got sliders. Sliders are back. Can you kind of change them? I don't know. We'll go on next and have a look at this. Yeah, so we've got a much higher defensive line, and we're looking at tighter marking. Pressing intensity is extremely urgent to prevent short goalkeeper distribution. That's some more features there for us to play with. Last thing you need to do is pick the starting lineup or ask for assistance. So we'll pick the starting lineup. They've given us kind of a bit of a guide starting lineup here, but I mean our centre backs are probably going to be that two, Akanji and Diallo, maybe Toprak in there as well. It says your tactics now ready to go. Here's a provisional squad that best suits it. Right then, so this is the length and breadth of the new tactics screen, and there's quite a lot going on actually, and I mean it's been flipped around because previously it was on the other side, but I don't mind that so much. So we will take a look at the squad because I do like the squad screen, and we'll have a look at sort of our strength in depth, and we will look at let's have a look what kind of selection info. So it says selection info, but we can't see current and potential ability. I'm just going to add those in. There we go. So that's a bit more what I kind of like of my player. So we're going to actually just clear the squad actually as well. Clear entire team selection. So we've got Hitz and Boki, who are very similar. I think they're both Swiss. Actually, we need the nationalities in there as well. There we go. So we've got the nationalities in there as well. Yeah, both the goalkeepers are Swiss. Both very, very similar goalkeepers. We take a look at Roman Boki. He's got very good. I kind of like this screen, I have to say. Very good kicking. He's much more of a sweeper keeper actually than Hitz is. If you take a look at Hitz, he's a sweeper keeper as well, although his kicking isn't very good. 30 years old, 2 Swiss caps. Not a bad backup, but I think Boki is probably going to be our first choice. He's the first choice for Switzerland by the looks of things. Well, the first choice in terms of Dortmund's goalkeepers, because I think actually the first choice is Jan Sommer. I think he was the first choice for Switzerland in real life. But he looks like a pretty decent goalkeeper. The only thing that lets him down probably is his first touch. Handling's not great, 12. Passing 11, even as a sweeper keeper, is not the best. Then we've got quite a few centre-back. Dan Axel Zagadou. We need to swap these around. Potential and ability. There we go. Dan Axel Zagadou, who looks very good. He's 19 years old. 12 marking, 13 passing. A ball-playing defender, left-footed, so he can go on the left. He's got poor acceleration, but very good pace. 196 centimetres. Probably have to change those into feet and stones, but for now that's probably about 6'6". So he's massive, or maybe 6'5". He's huge at the back there. Dan Axel Zagadou. Ömer Toprak, Turkish centre back. He'll be probably one of our starters. He's very quick, you can see, good strength, fairly tall. It's about as tall as you want for a centre-back. Good heading, marking, tackling. Heading could probably be a little bit better in all honesty. Then we've got Kanji, who I know is a very good young Swiss defender. And got some very good Swiss players, very quick, either-footed. I mean, him and Zagadou might be a really good partnership at the back. And we've got Abdou Diallo as well. He's 22 years old, 69k a week, 1120 caps, 221 caps came from Monaco in the beginning for France. He's got some very good technicals there, 13 passing, 12 technique for a centre back. It is nothing to be scoffed at. Again, very quick. So the fact that we're playing a high defensive line probably shouldn't matter too much, because the majority of our defenders are extremely quick. Then by the looks of things, we've got about 3 right backs. Lucas Piszczek's actually retiring at the end of the season, it looks like, but he is obviously a solid option at right back. 33 years old now, but he's been a quality player throughout the years for Borussia Dortmund, won titles and all sorts. Then we've got Achraf Hakimi, who's on loan from Real Madrid, got very good potential. You can see again, very good pace. Some good technicals. Crossing could do with a bit of work, but other than that, he looks a very, very good option at right back as well. Felix Paslak, who's out on loan at Norwich, he could come back in the coming seasons, depending on how long we go in this save. And then left back options, we've got Schmelzer and Rafael Guerreiro. Again, Schmelzer's probably another one with Piszczek, who's been around for a long time. Decent pace, very good stamina, a very Jurgen Klopp type of player, if you like. Rafael Guerreiro is actually wanted by Man City and Bayern. He's a very good left back. That's where he'll be playing for us as the complete wing back. He's not as defensive as probably as our Marcel Schmelzer, but he's more attacking. He can actually play right up that left hand side. Very good free kick taker, good corners, good crossing, very good all round left back. And our third right back in the series is a young German called Jeremy Toljan. I know a little bit about him. I've seen him play for Germany under 21s. Looks a very good player. Came from, I'm going to say, Hoffenheim. Yes, it was Hoffenheim. Again, looks a very good player. He's got all the attributes to be very decent. Probably be between him and Hakimi for the right back berth this season, because I'll probably look to use Piszczek a bit sparingly, as he's going to be retiring at the end of the season. And midfield wise, you can see we've got a lot of central midfielders there. We've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 central midfielders, all of whom have a sort of similar ability. I've just realised that we probably need age in this selection info as well. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah, so those are our central midfielders. We've got Axel Witsel, who's a very good player. He's a Belgian international, good all-rounder, looks at very good mental stats. 96 caps for Belgium, 29 years old, in addition to 10 under 21 caps. He looks very good a deep-lying playmaker sort of player. So it's very similar to Julian Weigl, actually, probably, who've been wanted by Man City and Bayern as well. Weigl will be a deep-lying playmaker kind of player as well, good passing, that sort of thing. But again, he's mentally very, very good, only 22 years old. We've got the former Copenhagen midfielder Thomas Delaney, and also Werder Bremen. Again, looks a very good player, box-to-box type of player who might be needed alongside somebody like a Witsel or a Weigl. And then we've got Sebastian Rode again, who's more of a ball-winning midfielder. Used to play for Bayern Munich, I believe. Yes, Bayern Munich, not very often, but he did play for them. And we now have him as a ball-winning midfielder. And then we obviously have Weigl, who we've shown, and Mahmoud Dahoud, who is another playmaker type who came from Borussia Mönchengladbach with very, very good reviews. And he looks to be a very good player. Obviously, the Bundesliga, probably don't need to mention that the Bundesliga is licensed this season, because it seems to be everywhere. Then we move on to our attacking sort of players. So wingers-wise, we've got this guy, Marius Wolf. Looks decent. He can play sort of all along the right-hand side. He could even maybe slot in at right back if needs be. Tackling 10, marking 8, probably not the best. 17 pace, 15 acceleration, very, very quick. Looks good all round. He's only 23 years old, young German, so happy with him. Mario Götze, who we know everything about, is just probably a little bit injury prone, fairly susceptible to injuries. But yeah, very good mentals, very good technicals. We know all about Mario Götze. And then we've got Shinji Kagawa, who's actually transfer listed at the start of this game. He looks very, very good. But he's on 69 grand a week. He's Japanese, which obviously comes with a lot of marketing that we'll probably get from Asia in relation to Shinji Kagawa. So that probably lose that when he goes. But yeah, Shinji Kagawa, possibly look to sell him. Jakob Brun Larsen, we're looking at, he's wanted by 39 clubs. Wow. That is all loans, and it looks like some decent teams actually want him there. Looks very good. Described as a wonder kid as well, which is always nice. He is either-footed, can play inside forward on either side. Really good finishing. Could possibly even be retrained as a striker. He's fairly tall, decent height there on him. Good pace, good natural fitness. Well, it's not good pace. It's okay for a winger. 14 finishing is excellent for a winger, really. Then we've got another wonder kid winger. So it's Jadon Sancho is going to be an inside forward on the left. I'm going to look to give him as much game time as possible. Described as a wonder kid, as I mentioned before, extremely good pace, which can only get better as he gets older. Good finishing there for a youngster. Very good technical ability. 14 vision, 16 technique, 12 finishing, 16 dribbling, 15 first touch. He just looks an absolutely fantastic prospect. Then we've obviously got the Bayern sort of Bayern poster boy. We've got the Borussia Dortmund poster boy, I should say, which is Marco Reus. He's again, probably don't need to introduce Marco Reus. 10 caps, 10 goals in 34 caps. Very pacey winger with 17 finishing, so actually he'll be in front of Jadon Sancho there, or perhaps in this role as maybe a shadow striker, which might be quite nice. But don't need to introduce Marco Reus any further, really, do we? Then we have Maximilian Philippe, who is a pressing forward, which is new in this year's game. It's not new, it's exactly what a defensive forward was essentially, but I think it's a more appropriate name for it rather than a defensive forward, really, because by saying they're a defensive forward, it almost implies that they're never going to score, but they actually do. So, I mean, you look at Jamie Vardy, who absolutely banged them in Leicester's title winning season, so you can't exactly call them defensive, really. But he looks decent. I mean, he's got 13 finishing, 14 first touch. Some of his mentals are slightly lacking, but further down they're very good, like his work rate, teamwork, off the ball, those kind of things are very good. His technicals are a little bit on the low side, possibly for a team of Dortmund stature, but he still looks decent, and he's German, so you can't go wrong, really. Now, everybody knows about this kid. He's already very good. I mean, if we take a look at his summary, he's very well suited to Bundesliga football, could improve a lot in the future. He's got 3.5-star current, 4.5 potential, very good pace, very good dribbling, first touch, etc, etc. Need I go on? And then we've got a very good striker in the shape of Palko Alcacer, who's had an absolutely storming start to his Dortmund career in real life. Here we see he's 16 finishing, 16 first touch, 10 long, 15 heading. He's not the tallest, but he's a very good poacher, very good advanced forward. The only thing I think we are missing there is a striker, potentially. We're maybe a bit light up top, although we do have Maximilian Philippe. We maybe need a real goal scorer up there, who can come in for Paco Alcacer or Maximilian Philippe and really just bang in some goals. So after that squad and tactics introduction, we're just going to have a look at a little bit of the history of Borussia Dortmund. They have won the Champions League once, which was in 1997, if I'm not mistaken. Founded in 1909. Bundesliga 8 times winners. One European Cup Winners' Cup. So that's the Cup Winners' Cup. One Intercontinental Cup, which is kind of a defunct competition now, and 4 German Cups. But I've done a little bit of research before I started this save, and that one European Cup Winners' Cup was actually the first European trophy to be won by a German side. So Borussia Dortmund have that particular piece of history, which is nice. So it's looking very purple this year, isn't it? It really is. I know that's been a thing, but it kind of contrasts very starkly with the yellow of Borussia Dortmund. Just having a look at the team report, and we're saying we've not got much quality depth in goal, but we've got 2 Swiss international goalkeepers. I'm not concerned about that. Better depth at centre back, but I think we have really good centre backs as well. But if we do decide to go with a 5 at the back formation, 3 centre backs, that might be a bit of an issue. Best of heading goalkeepers aren't best group of goalkeepers in terms of handling. That's quite nice, actually. Or aerial ability, or reflexes, or eccentricity, or tendency to punch ball. God, the goalkeepers are just terrible, aren't they? Apparently. But we can't jump and we can't head, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that in terms of set pieces, etc, etc. And we're just going to take a look at this advice. Good youth facilities, Ome Toprak on there. I don't like doing this because it can upset people in the dynamics. We'll take a look at the under-19s, actually. See if we've got he's our best sort of player. So we've got Sergio Gomez there as well, who looks like a very good, he looks like a really, really good prospect. 17 years old with these sort of technicals, he just Lovely. Very young goalkeeper Luca Unbehauen. He looks very good. Very good goalkeeper. Exciting young prospect. We'll give him a contract to be in the first team as one of our defenders. We've also got this man, defenders, one of our goalkeepers. We've also got this guy, Manuel Farai. He's a Dutch 17-year-old. He looks very good. His physicals are somewhat lacking, but they always are for 17-year-olds. His mentals are all there. 16 sort of flair. The only thing he's maybe lacking a little bit is maybe a bit of nothing, to be honest, in that department. But all his technicals are pretty good as well, so he looks like a decent prospect. Other than that, we're not really looking at anything special. We've also got this guy Rilint Hetemi, who I assume is probably Albanian. Yes, he is. I've got some knowledge bombs, boys, that are going to be dropped on you time after time in this save. I promise you that. Oh, now then, we've got this in the second squad. I forgot about Alexander Isaac. So he is actually a striker who may be able to come in, but he might go out on loan actually in this save. And Zenis Burnic is wanted by loads of clubs to go on loan. Was Rangers one of them? I think. Yes, they were. Rangers actually want Zenis Burnic on loan. Potential wise, again, there's only these guys kind of looking to push the first team squad. So Luca Kilian, again, he looks very good for a young centre-back. I'm liking the look of these youngsters. That just sounds weird, doesn't it? I probably shouldn't have said that. Probably should not have said that. Actually got another young Englishman here, Denzil Boadu. He's wanted by Luton for transfer, but he looks decent actually. He doesn't look too bad considering that Luton want him. He's 21 years old. He's where's he came from? He was at the Man City Youth Academy. He probably went to befriend Jadon Sancho, in all honesty, didn't he? Right, then we'll just have a look at the finances. Obviously, we're a rich club. 144 million pounds in the bank. 22 million pound transfer budget, which we could make quite a nice bit of business with that, especially if we make some sales like the likes of Shinji Kagawa. The wage budget is 1.8 mil. We've got 1.8. We're currently spending 1.7, so we've got roughly 150k to spend in that. And the finances are looking quite nice. Right then, so in terms of our fixtures, and we look at the schedule, I really like the schedule screen this year because it breaks it up into months, which is really good. I really like that actually. I really like the fact that they put that in there so you can see what months kind of, you can judge your form by months and that kind of thing. I like that. That's just kind of my own personal preference. But you can see our first meaningful game will be the German Cup first round against CFR Pforzheim. And then our first Bundesliga game is, I'm not sure if these correspond with the real fixtures in real life, but our first fixture this season in the Bundesliga will be against RB Leipzig. So we might do I think I might do the Pforzheim game in the next episode, and the Leipzig game in the next episode as well. So you can expect that to be those to come out in episode 2. So taking a look at the new scouting screen, I quite like this. You can keep scouting. This is Andrew Carlton, an 18-year-old midfielder from America. Who plays for Atlanta United. They don't want to sell him. You can see you've got all the original kind of things, but I like this. I like this kind of this new report card is looking very useful. So the expectations then for this season are for us to qualify for the Champions League, which isn't a bad expectation in all honesty. The German Cup or the DVB Pokal as it's known in real life, they expect us to get to the semi-final and reach the first knockout round of the Champions League, which is not, those expectations aren't too high. So I think we can do all of those things quite comfortably in all honesty. I say that now, but this is where we get sacked like a couple of months into the save, and then I'm just left without a job, and then we don't know what to do for the beta. So, but I'm just so excited to get into our first game against CFR Pforzheim in the German Cup first round. Just what league exactly are they in? We don't know. They do have some real players, which is a good sign, I guess. So it looks like they're in the Baden-Württemberg league in Germany, which is they are semi-professional, so that's one of the regional leagues. I guess kind of like the Panorama National North and South kind of level. So we should come through that one fairly easily, I guess. I hope. That's going to do it for the first episode of this beta save with Borussia Dortmund from me, Throughball FM, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at the sort of new look of the game and the new look of Football Manager 2019. I can't believe it's finally here, and this was my first interaction with the game, so you've been learning with me as much as I have. And I hope you stick around for the rest of the series. It's going to be a wild ride. My Chelsea save on the last one was a bit of a wild encounter, so I hope you could maybe take the time to watch that. But if you could drop me a like, comment or subscribe, I would be most humbled. Thanks everyone now. Bye bye.